Welcome back to the Move with Purpose podcast, and today I am joined by Dane Johnson, business owner, entrepreneur, chef, father, and a guy that wears so many different hats that I can't wait to get into today. Dane, welcome to the podcast.
Morning, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on. I've watched your kind of like journey as an entrepreneur from like a distance. So today I'm really excited to get into the nitty gritties of how you do what you do. But I want to start with your upbringing. I know you were born and raised in Jamaica. Talk me through what your childhood was like.
My childhood was exciting. Growing up in Jamaica, to be honest, because I think as a young child, everything was just fun, and in Jamaica we just make fun out of everything. So my upbringing was a mixture between living with my grandparents, my aunties, and then my mum, because of different times of my life and we'd be in different places. But yeah, I just remember going to school and being beaten for not doing my homework and just having days off just because I didn't want to go to school. Yeah.
So how long were you in Jamaica before you moved to the UK?
I moved to the UK when I was 10. So my mum got married and then she moved to the UK, and then she sent for my two sisters first and then me and my brother. So we came afterwards. So that's why I lived with my auntie for a bit.
What was the transition like? Did you know you were moving to the UK, or was it quite sudden?
It was quite sudden. It was a case of, okay, you're coming to the UK, go live with your auntie until paperwork's ready, and then, we came to the UK, yeah.
What emotions are you feeling? Are you wanting to leave home or?
I was excited because I wanted to be with my mum again, but yeah, I think the main thing was excitement, and then I started getting nervous when I was on the plane. And looking outside and seeing the snow and the fields, and I thought, wow, this is something that I've never seen before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was that transition like as you arrive in the UK, like settle into life here?
Difficult. It was difficult, yeah. Because even now, when I do my business, everyone's like, oh, you're born in Jamaica, because I speak very much like I've been here. I have been here, but my mum was like, adapt, and I literally every single day I went home, it's like, adapt, and that meant adapt to the environment.
Yeah.
I took it on, and I got into a lot of fights in school as well because of that transition, because as I was speaking yard, or how everyone used to say it at the time, people just used to make a joke of it, say that again and stuff like that, and laughing at me, and I thought, I'm not a clown. So then I think I remember it as a whole year, because I came over here and I'd done year 6.
Okay.
And for a lot of the time I was quiet, and I got in about 3-4 fights.
Really?
Yeah.
Is that just from like bullying?
Bullying.
It,
I remember my experience was like, I'm trying to play basketball at the time in the school that I went to, and people would just come over and take the ball and throw it over your head, and then you're in the middle and you're like, what's happening here? Like, and then I didn't realize it was bullying at the time until I'm like, no, you're not doing that to me.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And was that continued well into secondary school, or did it shift?
It was interesting because people still got friends of mine now that I went to school with, and I remember that they got involved when people tried to bully me because I was different. And it didn't continue. I find it interesting because once you have a couple of fights, people are like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And then when we was younger, people used to call it hard knock. Oh, it's a hard knock. So once I had a couple of fights, it was just like, okay, leave him alone kind of thing. Secondary school, same again. People will try you because you're different. Had 2 fights. I had a fight with someone that they're cousins, and I fought both of them.
Oh, wow.
After that, I don't have fights again.
Okay.
I didn't have fights again because it's like, you know what I mean?
That kind of respect. Do
you
feel like was, I don't know, like stamp of authority? I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. It's like people, because you're so quiet, they kind of underestimate you, and then as soon as you have the fight now in school, everyone's like, oh, okay, now leave him alone. That's why he wants to be left alone, and that's what happens.
Did it change your character?
To a certain extent, because I didn't know how to express myself. I felt like, because it's like I've tried to be left alone, and then you're provoking me and stuff like that. So it's like I just had to react because I didn't know how to express myself at the time, or walk away from it to a certain extent. But then as I got older, I realized, is that the language you understand? I might have to just do it.
And what's your mum's reaction while this is happening?
Not good.
Right.
Not good. I could tell you, I've been beaten because of it. There's one time in primary school I got slapped in front of a teacher. It was embarrassing because the teacher just reminds you, oh, you remember your mum came in and slapped you? Because,
And their reaction, because most teachers, like I used to be a school teacher, and they just didn't understand black
They're different,
parenting.
yeah, they didn't
So
understand
I'm
it.
surprised that wasn't escalated to like.
Nah, it wasn't. I remember where it was in like the school was. It wasn't escalated. I think of it was like 2000, it was different time. Now it's like
Yeah, you can't
definitely get escalated. But at the time it was like nah.
So did your mum find it difficult for you watching your transition to moving from Jamaica?
I think my mum was like, I worked so hard to get you here. You're not going to
Right.
embarrass me.
Right.
And that's the thing.
And did you understand the graft that she'd put in
Nah.
to get all of you guys over here?
I didn't understand it. I understood it as I got to maybe 16, 17. My mum's worked 2-3 jobs all the time. Partner,
Wow.
saving up and doing stuff. And so it's like, for me, I didn't understand it at the time until I got older. Until I see my older sister, going to work with her as well. Yeah.
And she was really pivotal in you developing this gift of cooking.
Yeah.
And talk to me a little bit about that. Did she teach you in the kitchen? Like, what was that makeup look like?
So to go a bit before that is when I was with my auntie in Rock Island in Jamaica. I lived there for a bit while my mum was here. Me and my cousins, we used to always go up there, and my cousin used to come up and visit us. We used to go to, we call it the bush or down the bottom, and we would just run our boat. And then what will happen is we would all put together our money, go to the shop, buy chicken back, flour, some rice, and just cook it together.
Cool.
That was my first experience of, I enjoy cooking, I enjoy eating and seeing what I've had.
Right.
What I've ate. Fast forward to being in the UK now is, I remember just being in the kitchen, my mom just as a little looking up in the kitchen. You know when you're small, the kitchen looks so big. Just remember just being in the kitchen with my mom and all the time just asking her questions. Why are you doing that? Why did you stir that? Why did you use that? Why are you chopping the chicken? Like just simple things, or even washing the chicken. So and then I realized as I got older, I just really, I just love food. So my first thing when I get up is what am I eating? What am I having for lunch? And yeah, so that was my first really experience.
Did your mum notice that kind of like desire in you to know more about food? Did she nurture it, would you say?
Nah, she definitely nurtured it. But I don't think she realised how much I had a passion for it. I didn't realise I had a passion for it until later in life, when I started cooking for people in my job.
So what did that transition look like? I know you launched Dane's Catering in 2015, but that's some time between your childhood and launching the business.
Yeah.
When did you say to yourself, right, I'm going to take that leap of faith and do this as an enterprise?
So basically that journey was, I started a few businesses. When I left school, I used to do entertainment. So I used to have dances.
Okay.
I used to have dances, like 5 of us. We called it Big Boys Productions. Used to have talent shows at Birmingham College and stuff like that. Old Rep Theatre, a lot of places. So I was always doing business. I even started a window cleaning business while I was at Boots. So I've started a few businesses before, and it was a case of what can I do? I want to do something. I want to do business. I want to do it. So I started them, and then you always realize, oh, I don't really enjoy that. The money is okay, but it's not really what I want to do. So what I did in 2015 is I realized I really enjoy food. I enjoy, then everyone was talking about these stereotypes about black people, how they are late, the food quality, the price of food as well. Like every time someone gets a quote, it's like everything's expensive. I'm like, why? So I wanted the vision of doing food at festivals.
Right.
So that what I called it first was the food shack. That's what I registered my business as first, the food shack, because I had a vision of going to festivals and just doing jerk chicken, just proper authentic food at festivals. But then I realized I didn't have no money to kind of get this shack and this trailer going and be into festivals. But as people realized, oh, they can cook food, I was doing christenings, barbecues, parties, but then I still called the food shack.
Right.
And so they didn't really make sense. And then at that time, I still weren't getting enough money to kind of buy this trailer. At that time, a lot of people, when you started business, was like, they didn't want people to know it was them.
Okay.
And so that's another reason why I called it something else.
Just because you wanted to hide behind the brand?
I wanted to hide behind the brand.
Why?
It was always, everyone that started business those days was just like, that's what we do.
Okay.
And plus, I thought at the time, a lot of people, when you don't know it's you can kind of get a bit of hate. So that I kind of just hid behind the brand and says, okay, I'm doing food, but if you see to the food chat, you wouldn't know it's me.
Yeah.
So that was one part of it. And then I spoke to, what this was at the time, I was at Land Rover. And I spoke to a guy, he used to work there as well. And he said, Dane, what if I do any logo for you? And then he just said to me, put your name on it as well. And I was like, what? Put my name on it? What do you mean? He said, nah, I'll do a logo for you. At the time, my logo cost, to get me a quote was £90.
Okay.
At them times, it was expensive. I mean, what, £90 for a logo? Like, what? You know what I mean? So then I just said, you know what, let me try it.
Yeah.
And he's like, nah, put your name on it, man. Rare, I can do this and do that. And I done it. And honestly, like, it's one of the best things. I don't think my business would be here now if I didn't do that. Because as soon as I put my name on it, the colours, everything, and people realize Dane's Catering. Like, even, it was just crazy. I literally just, as soon as my business started taking off, I was just running to keep up with it.
And what was that like for you, moving from behind the brand to being like the forefront of it?
It was like a transition, because now it's like my baby. Now you know it's me. Now there's no hiding behind it. No, I can't close it, and then you're not. You know what I mean? If I failed, it was just like, you know, I did it. So for me, it was it was a transition. Like even now, I'm still kind of working towards just putting myself out there a bit more in my comfort zone.
So you've transitioned from the food shack to Dane. What different types of challenges did you experience? Because now would you say you're in like the growth phase, the startup phase? Where's the business at?
The growth phase of not knowing how to run a business.
Okay.
That was the main thing, is how to run a business, how to manage books. Yeah.
But you're still really successful as well. You're saying you're getting a lot of orders and you're getting more demand than you can supply.
Yeah.
So when do you start to think about other team members, if it's still just you at this point?
It was, so basically, what I'd done was, I was cooking from home. So I was cooking at home and then bringing the food into work. Then I was having like 100 orders per day. Then I wasn't having my break.
Is this bringing the food into Land Rover?
Into Land Rover.
Right, okay.
Then having to distribute it. And people take the food and come back like, they haven't got a fork. And I'm like, I'm just want to have my break. It's got a bit much.
Okay.
So I just stopped doing it. But just the transition of that part was just like, it was a lot. But then I still felt like an imposter in terms of, sometimes the food will come out okay. Sometimes the food, I'll get a feedback, oh, I need to be more spicy. Or sometimes, do you know what I mean? So it was like, it was hard because sometimes you feel like yourself, like, am I doing the right thing? Do people actually like my food? Why did it come out harder this time, like dumplings and stuff? Because we put it in a heater and stuff, and I realized over time it's going to get hard. So a lot of feedback at the time is, how can I make it more consistent?
Right.
And that's it. And as it's growing, and then also is like the paperwork side of it, to understand what you need to have, and to have insurance and public liability, and then having staff members. I didn't really have any staff members. All I did was family and friends that understood the vision. Would
chip in and help.
And then I would just basically pay them then.
And meanwhile, you're juggling this growth phase. You're still working full-time at Land Rover?
Full-time, different shift patterns, night shift, morning shift, yeah.
How are you balancing that?
It was just difficult. I still don't know. I used to get up and go gym. Cook, and then bring all the food to work. Then most of, with catering industry and food, it's mostly weekends. So it wasn't too bad then. But I used to have to go to the meat shop at 5 o'clock, like when it used to be in, you remember in the city centre, the wholesale market. I used to go there at 5, take the meat back home, season it up, and then go to work.
No way. And so now, okay, you're juggling, it's difficult. What point do you leave Land Rover to go full-time into the business?
It was the Black Lives Matter situation.
Okay.
It kind of just, so going from that, it's been COVID. You get used to being at home with my kids and seeing them and going on bike rides and stuff, and then the Black Lives Matter situation. And when I say situation, it's a case of like, it triggered something in me. Okay. And when I went back to work, nothing changed. Nothing changed. What I'm saying is that on Facebook, the company used to look like great. It looks like a great company that you would work for, but on the ground, I just didn't feel valued. And then it's like, I'm making all this money. like overtime. Money is great, but then at the same time, you go into a place that you're not happy, and then, you know what I mean. So I just said to myself, could I do this full time? Could I do catering full time? I enjoy it. It's hard work, but I enjoy what I do. I enjoy the process of it. Where could I take this? So what I started doing is reducing all my bills, reducing all my outgoings.
Okay.
So yeah, I decided to cancel my Sky membership, and then also mobile phones. I just put them on pay as you go, just stuff like that. Literally just reduce all my outgoings.
Okay.
Then I thought about how much money do I actually need if I wasn't on this great money, because once you transition into doing your business, you have to pay yourself, and
For sure.
and then obviously your staff and your overheads still need to go out. So I just started doing that, and then because I seen my friend do it, like Jordan at the time, he's left and set up his own business, still does my website now. I just thought, okay, I can see someone doing it, and then I seen other people do it, and where we are now, all of us that left that place, it was like, okay, you know what I mean? But it's daunting. I say to people, it's daunting.
Yeah,
Anyone
taking
that's
that leap
doing
of faith.
it, yeah.
I remember working full time as a maths teacher, and similar timelines. I left my full time job just before COVID hit, so I was vexed because I've put in my notice to say, yeah, I'm gonna do this business thing full time in February, and then COVID hits in March, and I'm like, bruh, I didn't foresee this coming, and now I'm out of a job. But it was the best decision that I'd made looking back, because if I didn't take that leap then, I don't think I ever would have stepped out of like full-time employment. What was the most fulfilling part of leaving Land Rover for you?
I think about it every day. It's still fulfilling. It's just I enjoy bringing authentic food into different spaces. But there's a point I went to a lot of the hotels in Birmingham.
Yeah.
And I used to say to them, can I get Caribbean food? And they would say to me, no, but the chef can do a barbecue menu, and we used to do, oh God, what does that look like? And every place said the same thing. Every place said the same thing, and I'm like, oh, this is so annoying, because that just means chicken with regular sauce on it, like on a barbecue, and I want food. And I said to myself, why if I just challenge myself to get into 5 of the top hotels? So I made a list of the 5 top hotels. I thought, I think it was Radisson and all these other ones, and Edgbaston Park Hotel, quite the nice ones that I thought, okay, these are ones that I visited, Grand Station. And I just gave them a call and asked them, can I be a preferred supplier? And
what was the reaction?
It's daunting.
Yeah.
Like the reaction is, it's like them speaking Spanish and then me trying to translate. What did they just say? They need they need allergens, they need insurance, they need 5K insurance. You need a refrigerating van.
Right.
And I'm like, But then, I literally during COVID, everyone, I don't know what, I spoke to a lot of business people. Everybody was, I think everyone used it as a holiday.
Okay.
I used it as DJ still kind of live, and I'm still working. Okay, you need an allergen chart. Google it. What's an allergen chart?
Yeah. This,
that. Insurance. Okay, how can I offset? If my insurance is £300, how can I offset that through the bookings that I've got now? My website's gonna cost that much. So I did that during COVID.
Nice.
So after COVID, to go back to that as well, is during COVID I was doing NHS discounts and meals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
For the NHS staff?
To staff.
Right.
I was doing discount 20%, and I was delivering the food. So what I was doing is, because a lot of people said, because basically I had a minimum order, I still do now, but I have a minimum order of £150. So you could order food from me, but it has to hit that minimum order. People saying, then I want to taste the food, but I haven't tasted it. So then I thought, flip that on its head. What if I do a menu every single week, and I deliver it, and then give you NHS discounts?
Okay.
So then people can taste the food. People are at home, and if you are from the NHS, you get a discount, and other people are still ordering as well.
Yeah.
And then soon as COVID finished, oh my days, like my business just went to another level again, because I didn't use that time to sit down. I just always think about, okay, that you haven't tasted my food, but okay, what if I do a menu and then my bills are still coming in because I have my overheads? I thought, okay, and then that's what happened. So everyone that tasted my food during COVID, booking me for parties now, booking me for christening, booking me for barbecues, and I was like, okay.
Did it feel overwhelming, or did you feel ready for it?
Nah, it felt overwhelming, because it's just like it gets to another level of just you. Now you need staff members. Now you need to get containers, you need logos, you need everything. So every single point, it was kind of overwhelming. But sometimes you got to stop and kind of just what do I need to get me to the next step?
I love that you speak about working throughout COVID as well, because like you said, a lot of people seen it as a holiday, especially those that were employed and were on furlough, could kind of kick back. But as business owners, we had to jump into survival mode and think, okay, cool. If our usual means of making money isn't happening, how can we accelerate during this time? And for me personally, during COVID, I opened this centre. So while everyone was at home, our lease on our old dance studio had ran up, and I was like, okay, I either take out a new lease on another building or just sack off the business and go back to teaching. And something inside of me was like, you know what, I've seen this sofa shop because it was full of settees before, and I know this can be like a community space for like dancers, artists. So we took it on in the midst of COVID, and everyone was like, you're mad, like Boris isn't going to let you guys be back dancing till X amount of time. But we took the leap of faith, used our own money, did it up. And now I think to myself, that graft during COVID is absolutely paying off. Because if I would have just sat there and picked the easy route, I wouldn't be where I am today. When you think about the growth phase that your business experienced throughout COVID, how has that propelled you to where you are now?
It's pivotal. I done a concert. When was it now? I think it was Boyz II Men concert 2 days ago.
Wow. Congratulations.
I was gassed.
Congrats.
Because I was I'm going to answer your question, but I'm kind of going back to I was talking to DJ Silk. I said I used to watch DJ Silk on live. I got two phones. One, him on the live, and then me just working on my paperwork, getting my paperwork, doing more of my recipes, doing everything. And then we was talking about the same thing. He wasn't able to DJ, but then he was doing the lives and being consistent. And it was like, we was laughing about it. And I even posted, I said, we were just being consistent. And because I wasn't able to do food, or my overheads were still coming in, I still had to be consistent. And that's what pays off afterwards. And I smile on it because a lot of people use COVID as a holiday. And for me, the first 3 months, I thought, this is only going to last 3 months. Then I realised my landlord still needed paying. Everything needed still paying. And then plus, I wanted to get out there. So it was pivotal. I bought a camera. I took everything out my kitchen, and then just painted, done all the painting, stuck up stuff on the wall. So after COVID, it was a case of, all right, cool. But it was challenging because we had to do weddings, and weddings are back on 30 people. Okay, risk assessment now. I need to do a risk assessment. Then like, you can't have buffet lines.
And were you not doing weddings prior to COVID? Was that something that was new?
I was doing weddings. I had a lot before COVID. I had so much. I still trying to think about it because that would have been my best year. Before COVID, on paper, I had so many bookings. So many bookings that I had to cancel, refund. Just navigating it. It was like weird, but then I still kind of afterwards got back on my feet. But yeah, there's a lot of weddings.
And I see you working with like you mentioned, you did Boyz II Men. Congrats for that. And then I seen you with Trevor Nelson the other day as well. You work with high profile people, but you still seem to be very humble. How do you navigate like experiencing those big wins and then?
People say that to me all the time. I've been getting it since I was younger, but it's my background, how I grew up. I don't think I made. I want more. But then I'm always gonna be respectful of, just life and people and respect. And that's the thing. Sometimes because I'm so humble, I don't get invited to podcasts. Like it's so like I see other people's shouting from the rooftops and they're not doing what I'm doing. But then someone's like, "Then you should be winning awards." My time will come. Like I don't watch all that because I'm always also. I grew up in a church. I'm baptized. So there's certain respect and stuff since I was younger. It just I think it just keeps me grounded. Yeah,
you don't seem to be like wrapped up in the hype and stuff. Nah. How do you measure your success then?
It's difficult because I want more. So it's hard because a lot of the time I want more. So it's like, am I doing good? But now I want more. So I wanted 3-4 locations, different cities. So for me, it's just like just enjoy where I am now, and as long as I can get a holiday with the kids and some time off and my bills are getting paid, I'd have to enjoy it, but I still want a lot more.
What would you say you're reaching for? Like, what's your next big vision or goal for your business and for yourself?
I want to be in different cities. I want to be in different cities. I want Dane's Catering in London, Leeds, and I want to be doing stuff more internationally.
And what is it going to take to get to that? Because that's scaling now, right?
Yeah. It's I'm working on it because it's just basically putting systems in place, and just taking the stuff that we learned from my previous jobs, just having checkpoints. Okay, everything's just measured. Everything is a case of, because in this industry you get chefs and you get people coming in and out, so you just need to keep the consistency. So just having them things in place really.
And reliable team members.
People that buy into the vision, and if they don't, it's like, okay, how can you sign them onto your success? And then they kind of, oh yeah, if the business does well, they get a financial reward or they get something as well.
And the practicality of, let's say you've got 3 bookings across one weekend, all on the same day. How do you facilitate that demand? Do you have different people go to different sites? Like, what does that look like from a management perspective?
For me, that is one of the challenges that I've done last year. If someone phones in sick, it messes a lot of things up.
Right.
So then, now what we do now is, if I take a booking on now with staff, I won't take another one that needs staff to a certain extent. And then the time scales between them. There might be a booking that's in the morning, then the booking might be in the night time.
Okay.
And then that might, let's just say if someone's having a party now and then it's for 2, they need 2 staff members to serve it. That's easily done. Then the other one is 150. Then we put 6 staff there. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And then also in between, I might have a collection from the kitchen. So we look at it, if someone messages me, like, okay, then I got our order on. I have to look at the times, the location, and stuff like that. And also I use agency staff as well.
Okay. And where do you split yourself?
It depends what needs me. If it's a plated service, I got to be there because it's more hands-on. They need that. But I try not to. I don't have to. I try not to. Don't have to physically be at every single booking.
Okay. That's a lot of trust.
It's a lot of trust, but my team, a lot of them have been with me for a long time. Yeah, so they're at a good standard.
They understand how you work.
Yeah, they understand the work and customer service, and it's just having the mistakes. We've had mistakes, and it's a case of talking about the mistakes, what happened. Yesterday, while I was at the concert, I had a wake for 200 people, and I wasn't at that one.
Right.
The guy phoned me the next day and said, Dane, honestly, everyone loved the food.
Good.
Everyone said how great the staff were.
Yeah.
And they've already booked for their wedding next year, 2025.
Nice. Were you anxious to get that call? Because are you thinking, what's the feedback going to be? Or are you confident that...
I was confident.
Okay.
Because what I've done is, basically what I can do is make sure the food is cooked great. Like from the kitchen, no, everything's good. All they have to do now is like a relay. I said to them, just get it over the line.
Yeah.
Serve the food that we've cooked in the kitchen. I know the quality is good. Just serve it. That's it. And that's what you have to kind of have your team and you trust them. So when I have multiple bookings, I always try and look at, okay, I've got that person. She's great at running an event. And then I'll put her to run the shift. Yeah.
Why not food shop day?
People say this to me all the time. I think people measure that as a success or something. Like, for me, I don't want to be in a shop or have people in a shop just waiting for food to be sold. Right. And cooking the food and waiting for someone to come and buy it. Nah.
So you never feel like you'll go down that lane? It's definitely...
I don't know. I've thought about it because everyone keeps saying it, and then I think, yeah, it's great for cash flow. But no, I don't really want to. Okay. But I've been approached a few times to have a food shop. But I enjoy catering a lot more. But I probably will do at some point if it's the right location.
So I want to move on to a little bit now about fatherhood. Obviously, you're a father of 2. You've got 2 boys, one that's 3 and one that's 10. Talk to me about the first time you became a dad and how that felt.
Oh, I remembered it. He was 10. Well, my son's 10 now, so the first time it was quite scary. I think I was 22, at the time.
Really?
Yeah, it was scary.
Were you prepared?
Nah. Because I wanted to do electrical. I wanted to do electrical course. I just signed up to do electrical course. Paid some money for that. Because it was one of them courses that you just kind of do within 18 months and you're qualified. Then all of a sudden now, there's a baby on the way. And now I've got to switch my brain into providing within 9 months' time. So
Did you plan for this child, or was it kind of like unexpected?
It was unexpected. So then that's how I ended up at Land Rover.
Okay.
It's because I didn't do the electrical route. Someone said there's a job at Land Rover. Oh, my dad works there and it pays well. So it's like, okay, cool. I need to provide now. And then that's what happened. I just ended up going there and worked and provide for my family at the time.
What kind of dad would you say you are?
I would say I'm a good dad. Got a few god kids. Everyone sees how good I am with my kids and stuff as well. And they see my heart as well. I feel like, so I say I'm a good dad. I try not to be how I was brought up.
Okay.
Because even this week, my son, he got a little report from his mum. Says, "Oh yeah, he was rude, cheeky to the teacher." In my head, I wanted to beat him.
Right.
I swear, I wanted to beat him because I'm like, "You're embarrassing us." And like, you've had good reports. Why have you just done this and stuff like that? Then I had to say to him, my problem was being hit, but not understanding why.
Right.
So I kind of just spoke to him in the living room, spoke to him again in the kitchen. I said to him, if someone's speaking to you, your teacher, wait for them to finish speaking, then explain to them the situation, how you felt. But while you interrupting, it's like you're arguing. So for me, hopefully you understood more than me hitting him, because I realised he could just be scared of me as he grows up and don't approach me for anything.
That relationship.
That relationship. But I've had to learn it because we grew up with that way. Okay, you beat your kids when they're rude and stuff like that. But I tried to not get the balance right.
What core values are you instilling into your boys, particularly in a time where raising boys is very, very challenging in our current landscape?
Be an individual.
Right.
Be an individual. Even with my son at the time, it was just silly because he was getting. There was running a little joke in the class between him and his friend. Oh, you look like that person, and he was just getting wound up by it. But what I'm trying to say to him, be a leader, not a follower. Do you know what I mean? And I always say to him, just be a leader, not be a follower. If they're teasing you because of that, just say, okay, fine, I look like him. All of a sudden, there's no joke then. And I'll keep saying to him, because me, when I was growing up, soon as I became an individual, when everyone's wearing the Avrexes and going to under 17s and stuff like that, but as soon as I realised that I don't have to do that and I can be my individual, I was respected more. And then when I used to go to my friend's house, everyone used to look at me like, Dane, you know you're the leader of this. And I'm like, what? I'm just trying to just be friends. But everyone's seen that, how calm I was, and everyone was doing stuff. And the mom was like, nah, Dane, I expect you to, like, you're the leader, and you know what I mean? And when I started realising being different wasn't a bad thing, and being a leader, you realise everyone's going to start following you. Do you know what I mean? And even now, like, when I've gone out to certain places and I've realised the vibe ain't there. When I say the vibe, you can see some vibe is like, it's off.
Yeah.
I just go, and I don't care that someone says I'm scared, because then you hear the place got shut up, and it's like, you gotta know when to be different and just, do you know what I mean?
Follow your instinct. Do you want more kids?
That's a no. Reason why I laugh, you know why? It's expensive.
Right.
You know why? And people say to me, it's not expensive, but I'm saying it's expensive because of what I want for them, the clubs, the quality of life, the time. I find it difficult being self-employed and having kids because of the different time you need to spread yourself, and it's your time, but it's not your time because I still need to go to work. But because I haven't signed on to working for somebody else, it's like, okay, it doesn't need to go on nursery today and stuff like that, and it's just non-stop. So yeah, it's hard.
Is that a no?
I will see what happens. We'll see what happens, because I would say no.
Okay.
But you never know, because at the same time, I want a girl.
Yeah.
I do want a girl, because these boys are gonna be gallivanting when I'm older.
Be careful what you ask for, Dane.
Exactly.
Girls out here running me wild. What would you say is next for you?
So I'm not sure. It's hard to say, because I want different, another location.
Okay.
But then also I want the quality of life. So I'm trying to explore living in a different country for a period of time, 3-4 months.
Going back to Jamaica or somewhere else?
Jamaica. I looked at Dubai, some investments out there. Just anywhere that there's sun and I don't necessarily need to have loads of money to kind of just have a good quality of life. So at the moment it's Jamaica and then Dubai. And
how soon are you hoping for that to happen?
I've already started for the plan. So I was just trialing, see how it feels, see if it can work. So obviously still trying to run the business here, and then having some sort of business there as well.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna trial it and see what do I need to put into place for that. To be honest, because obviously now that I put my name on my logo and it's Dane's Catering, everyone expects me to physically be there. So one of my friends said to me, "Dane, I booked you 4 times. I've never seen you." Is it? Yeah, and they just run a joke, but it's because I just know my staff. I trust them. But then, long as we've had the food, I mean, the standards there, that stuff we just got to kind of go with it, really.
And can you see yourself going back and forth to the UK or just permanently moving?
I think it has to be back and forth for me. Yeah, because wedding season for me and this industry that we're in now, I'd enjoy that. Yeah.
Nice. Well, I always like to wrap up and ask my guests to leave the audience with like one nugget of wisdom. What is your nugget of wisdom for the listeners today?
Put me on the spot there. Just find out what makes you happy, whatever that looks like. Yeah, I think that's what it is, because even for me now, is what makes me happy is having my days off like a Sunday, having the weekend off with the kids. So yeah, just find out whatever that makes you happy. Also, if it's a business that you want to set up, if that makes you happy, do it. Yeah.
Nice. Dane, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.